African American Contributions by Kenzie and Grace. African Americans at first weren't allowed to serve in the Union Army, but they were allowed to serve in the Navy. Later, the Emancipation Proclamation allowed the recruiting of African Americans. It was passed in 1863, and they still had to overcome the prejudice of white officers. African Americans were not used in combat as much because of prejudiced people. At first, they were only allowed to guard supplies and build roads and bridges, but later on they were allowed to actually fight. African Americans were put into all black units and were commanded by white officers. They only received half the pay of white soldiers. One of the most famous African American units in the Union Army was the 54th Massachusetts Regiment. It was made up of volunteers, and after 2 months it had over 1,000 people signed up. Since African Americans were put in all black units, they didn't get the same pay as white officers, and they weren't allowed to use very heavy combat. They protested and demanded the same treatment as the white soldiers. Slaves in the South also played a part in the war. They were forced to help their masters so they could go fight in war. They often had to cook, tend animals, build forts, and do lots of other things. But they slowed down their work to help. By the end of the war, more than 200,000 African Americans had fought in the Union. 1 in 5 died. Frederick Douglass once said, "Once a black man has served in the Army, no power on earth can deny that he has earned the right to citizenship."